Right now on Early Morning, incredible video of rescues from the rubble 4 days after the earthquake that hit Turkey and Syria. We will go live to Ground Zero in moments as the race against time unfolds. Then Hunter Biden's legal team goes on the offensive. The offer by Hunter Biden's lawyer that could shake up the House investigation into his business dealings. Why it could call the GOP's bluff. And more migrants make landfall in Florida, their dangerous journey to America's shores, and what they face now that they are stateside. Good morning and welcome to News Nation World Headquarters in Chicago. I'm Mitch Carr. This is Early Morning. Rescue crews pulled more people out of the rubble 4 days after that strong earthquake struck Turkey and Syria. The death toll this morning has grown again. It is now more than 21,000. Temperatures overnight plunged below freezing as the race to find those still trapped continues, and the hope for their survival. The colder it is, the longer they've been under the rubble, those chances for survival go down. We have Shamim Chowdhury here. She is live on the ground in southern Turkey with us this morning. Good morning. And
you're watching the CBS 58 News at
10. Breaking news at 10, chaos erupts after a search for two missing teenagers on Milwaukee's north side. The Target House torched by protesters and people nearby as police are forced to flee. Gunshots and tear gas flood the streets near the scene. Our Mark McPherson is on the scene, and we do expect to hear from police soon, but we're going to go out live to Mark now with the latest on what's happening.
Yeah, Natalie, it was a pretty chaotic day for most of the day today. It started at a home on the 2100 block of 40th Street. A crowd gathered outside that home, and neighbors say that home is commonly known in that neighborhood, at least, to be used for human trafficking. Now, police did kick in the front door of that home and search all three levels. While that was going on, neighbors told me when we were in the crowd that they had planned on burning that home down at some point that day. They were sick of having it in their neighborhood. Police left after searching the home. The crowd immediately started breaking windows. Eventually, as you can see, set fire to that home. At some point during the chaos, our crew was attacked. We eventually were forced to leave that area, as well as during that unrest, there were shots fired. Video can be seen of someone shooting with a handgun at a car full of people. We're told by police that two people suffered non-life-threatening injuries in all of that. Now, police were going to hold a press conference on that street about an hour and a half ago. While we were there, we heard further gunshots. Pretty soon afterwards, police all left the area, and they told us we needed to leave the area as well. So we have not been back since then. Police still plan on holding a press conference. They say they're going to hold it here any minute now, so we will bring that to you live when it does happen. We'll have more of this story on our website, cbs58.com. We'll bring you the press conference as soon as it starts. Reporting live in Milwaukee, Mark McPherson, CBS 58 News.
Good morning, AB. Good morning, Marky. In the mix this morning, I want to start down south in North Carolina, where police say a driver intentionally plowed his SUV into 6 migrant workers. It happened Sunday to a group of day workers outside of a Walmart in the town of Lincolnton, northwest of Charlotte. 6 victims had to be taken to a hospital, but each is expected to survive their injuries. Police are now looking for the vehicle and a suspect, described as an older white man. Officers aren't sure why the man chose to run them down.
Oh, he's trying to call out to the aliens or the mothership or something. That's how bright it was, that perhaps pilots could have even seen it. I'm not sure.
Yeah, she's talking about that big old X right there on top of the former Twitter
no,
bill.
look at that.
That's exactly what it was doing.
Why would you do that? Elon, you're just trying to aggravate people.
So that Twitter sign ran afoul of San Francisco officials. It ticked off the city, too. The social media platform installed a new sign showing an X as part of its rebrand. It's so bright, city officials put a stop to the installation because of a lack of a permit. Some say the light was strobing into their homes. We could see that right there. Now, San Francisco is now opening an investigation into the ordeal.
He's decided to reaffirm his oath and re-enter the ranks of the United States Army this evening.
That's right.
What?
Duty is calling for country musician Craig Morgan for a second time. Now, the 59-year-old re-enlisted in the U.S. Army Reserve from center stage at the Grand Ole Opry in front of a sold-out audience. The That's What I Love About Sunday singer spent 17 years in the Army and Reserve. He'll hold the rank of Staff Sergeant. Morgan says, once a soldier, always a soldier. He still plans to tour and release new music.
It's our top story tonight. President Donald Trump arrived at Walter Reed Medical Center early today. He'll undergo a series of treatments after testing positive for coronavirus. Good evening, and thank you for joining us. We have team coverage tonight on President Trump's diagnosis.
We've learned a treatment in development with UW-Madison scientists has been given to the president. CBS 58's Brittany Lewis spoke with one of those researchers. Our Kristen Barbarisi has reached out to state lawmakers for their reaction to the president's diagnosis.
But first, let's get the latest on the president's condition tonight near the nation's capital. CBS News correspondent Christina Ruffini is at Walter Reed Hospital tonight.
Let's get an insider account of one of the president's treatments. CBS 58's Brittany Lewis spoke with a health official at UW-Madison.
He's helping to lead a trial of that antibody cocktail. Brittany is live in Milwaukee tonight with more on that. Brittany.
Natalie, this treatment has not yet been approved by the FDA, but the doctor I talked to said he's glad President Trump received it because of the early trial results.
Doctors we spoke with say the president's age and weight put him at moderate risk for COVID complications. The White House said the president has a fever and fatigue. Dr. Minhaj Hassan says the president could face lingering symptoms as well. He could have a loss of smell and taste. The doctor says he's seen more symptoms last for a while.
Fatigue, weakness, inability to perform your daily activities the way you used to. That's been lingering for weeks, months, perhaps, for some people, especially those who were not in particularly good shape to begin with.
Dr. Hussein says if the president's symptoms continue past the 14-day isolation, he would need to be quarantined until they went away.
Many lawmakers across the country have tweeted or sent out statements in support of President Trump's recovery. Both Wisconsin senators were no different. Republican Senator Ron Johnson tweeted best wishes to President Trump and the First Lady for a full recovery. And Democratic Senator Tammy Baldwin tweeted she hopes for a speedy recovery for the President and First Lady. She also urged everyone to do their part to stop the spread of coronavirus.
Rallies in Janesville and Green Bay have been canceled. Now the Trump campaign will have to get creative in the final weeks of the race. Joe Biden has kept in-person events to a minimum so far, while the president has held big rallies in person. Experts say it will be difficult for the president to fire up his base while not on the campaign trail.
He says, oh, we're just around the corner for this being away and gone. Not only have there been, thousands and thousands of American deaths, but now with the president having COVID, it's much harder to say that we're just, a few steps away from this virus being gone.
A new Marquette University Law School poll comes out next Wednesday. It will include voters' thoughts on the president's condition and what, if any, impact it might have on their vote.
The president's positive test comes as cases in Wisconsin surge. We had about 2,700 cases today, which is a slight decline from yesterday's single-day record. The darkest shades on the map show where those cases are spreading the fastest, and we also learned 5 more people died today. The trend of positive cases stayed mostly the same. 1 in 5 tests came back positive. The 7-day average still hovers at about 21.5%.
As the president battles COVID-19, Republicans in the Wisconsin legislature are battling the governor's mask mandate. Our team coverage continues tonight with CBS 58's Kristen Barbarisi, who has details about the latest move to overturn Governor Evers' order. Kristen.
Hours after the president revealed he tested positive for COVID-19, Wisconsin Republicans made the latest move in the fight over the state's mask mandate, filing court documents backing a lawsuit against Governor Tony Evers.
Well, Governor Evers says he wants to see a full recovery for President Trump. He also wants politics to be put aside.
I'm hopeful that people say, okay, this is a serious issue. Let's move forward, because if somebody that's in that tight of a security bubble can get it, anybody can get it.
Governor Evers says the president's diagnosis shows how important wearing a mask and social distancing are to stopping the spread.
Unease from the president's diagnosis shook markets this morning, but things rebounded by the afternoon. Financial experts we spoke with agree President Trump's COVID-19 diagnosis means less clarity in the already unclear financial world, but they say there's no reason to panic, and things that happen today are likely just a bump in the road.
Unless there's just a catastrophic issue here with the health of one of the candidates, or that we get to the election and it takes months to kind of figure out who wins the election, this news in particular isn't that big of a deal.
Most investments, like 401ks, plan for the long term, and they're far less likely to be impacted by daily news.
This is a story that will be changing by the minute, so be sure to follow the latest developments, both on air and online. You can find our coverage by heading to CBS58.com.
Mistakes are costing thousands of voters their absentee ballots. CBS 58 investigates the common errors that have election officials rejecting ballots across the state.
Then the feds are up in the ante in an effort to find those responsible for arsons in Kenosha. A closer look at the alleged suspects up next.